Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain you about data export, tools for exporting data and its exporting process in Salesforce. So let's jump to the topic and discuss about export data in Salesforce. In Salesforce, data can be easily exported either manually or automatically. The data can be exported in the form of comma separated file, that is CSV file. The export data in Salesforce gives us convenient way to export data from the Salesforce org. It can be export either for the backup or for importing it into different system. Now discuss tools for exporting data into Salesforce. Salesforce offers two main tools for exporting data. First one is data export in Salesforce and the second one is data loader. We will discuss these two one by one. Data export. The data export wizard is the in-browser tool and it is accessible through the setup menu. It permits us to export data manually for weekly export like within every 6 days or monthly export like within 28 days. In data export, we can also export data automatically at weekly or monthly interval using schedule report. With the help of data export, we can also export all the records from all objects or we can also choose which object to export record from. Data export involves all the fields value and all the data that is currently available on that object. The field or record cannot be filtered which we wish to export. The Salesforce create a zip CSV file. If we want to download the file, click on the data export in the quick find box and the export will be completed soon as possible. And the export will be complete. It's totally depend on the size of the records that user wishes to export from the org. When we export the large file, the large export are broken into the multiple files. The zip CSV files are deleted in 48 hours after the email is sent. Now discuss about data loader. Data loader is a client application. In order to use data loader, first we need to download it and then we have to install it in our system. Our system is what? Our system is a client. So the client application is basically an application that uses the resources of the client. It is operated either the user interface or the command line. The latter option is important when we automate the export process. With the help of the data loader, we can filter the records that will be included in the exported file. The data loader also give an option from which we can export archive records and deleted records. Now move forward and discuss about how to export data in Salesforce Lightning. So let's move to our org. So this is my Salesforce Lightning org and here we are learn how to export data in Salesforce Lightning. So for this, firstly click on the gear icon. This is my gear icon. Click on that and under this gear icon we can see that two options present. First one is setup and the another one is service setup. Click on the setup option. Our setup page is open and under this setup page we can see that there is a quick find box present and we enter the data export in the quick find box and our data export comes up that is present under the data. So click on this data export option. The data export page is open. Under this page, there is a monthly export service. The data export lets us prepare a copy of all data in salesforce.com. From this data export page, we can start the export process manually or schedule it to run automatically. When an export is ready for the download, we will receive an email containing a link that permit us to download the file. The exported file are also available on this page for 48 hours, after which time they are deleted. So for exporting the record, we click on the export now button that is present under this data export page. So click on this export now button. Now, our next step is to edit the record. So we click on the include images, documents, and the attach file checkbox. And the next option we did not want to add because it take additional time to export. So we scroll to the bottom and here we can see the exported data section is present, and under this section there are loads of data present. If we want to export all the records of the object, then we select include all data, otherwise unchecked it. We did not want to include all the data, so and then select the data which we want to export. So scroll to the bottom and here we want to select account, contact, lead, campaign, campaign members, all these data. And after clicking all this data, we want to export this data. So we click on the start export button that is present above this section exported data. So we click on this start export button. Our export is in the process, the export in process in the background. What I mean is the record in the object will get the exported data in the CSV format. So those record need to mapped or need to created on a CSV sheet, and the Salesforce server is doing that for us. So unless it's done, we do not need to download this CSV file from here. So that the reason it say it might take 48 hours. Basically the timeline by which we can download it. So like if I initiate the export right now, I can download this file till next 48 hours. Our export are in queue now. You will receive an email when it is completed, and the Salesforce server are created the file for me. Once the process which will in the queue or in process will be done, the zip file will be available over here. And I can download this file and use it for what purpose I want to export it. Once our file is exported, an email notification will send to the email. The export of your organization data has been completed. Now you can see our file is exported and we go to our email, and here we go, we can see the email is sent to us. The export your organization data has been completed. Please check on the following link within the next 48 hours to receive the export. Please click on the following link for download the zip file. After downloading the file will be saved on the desktop. When we click on this link, our file will be downloaded on the desktop. And we can also download our file from here by simply clicking on this download option. Note, the data export service does not work in the sandboxes. If we want to schedule the export, then click on the schedule export button that is present near the export now button. So click on this schedule export. The schedule data export page is open. Under the schedule data export page, we can select the export file encoding, and here we are selecting this, and after that select the frequency, and here we click on the on day checkbox and then select the number, and here we click on the last of every month, and then we can set the start date which is the last date of the December, and then selecting the end date which is the starting date of the January 2024, and then we set the preferred start time which is the 8 a.m. and now scroll to the bottom, and here we can see there are the exported data. Select what type of the information would you like to include in the export. The data type listed below use the Apex API names. If we are not familiar with these names, select include all data for your export. So we want to export all data. So we click on the include all data and then click on the save button. And here we go. After clicking on the save button, now we can see our next schedule export date here. We can also see the export file are also available on this page. And here we go. After clicking on the save button, now we can see the next schedule export here. We can also see the export file are also available on this page for 48 hours, after which time they are deleted. Now move forward, discuss about how to export data in Salesforce Classic. So let's move to our org. When we log into our Salesforce account, our Lightning version is open. And here we want to move to our classic version. For this, we click on the profile picture, and under this profile picture, we can see that the option is present, switch to Salesforce Classic. So click on this option. After clicking on the switch to Salesforce Classic option, we come to our classic version. And here we can see how to export data in Salesforce Classic. So for this, firstly click on the setup option that is present near the username. So we click on the setup option. Our setup page is open, and under this page we can see that there is a quick find box present on the left side. So we enter the data export in the quick find box, and our data export comes at the top that is present under the data management. So click on this data export option. The data export page is open, and under this page there is a monthly export service. The data export let us prepare a copy of all the data in salesforce.com. From this data export page, we can start the export process manually or schedule it to run automatically. When an export is ready for download, we will receive an email containing a link that permit us to download the files. The exported files are also available on this page for 48 hours, after which time they are deleted. For exporting the record, we click on the Export Now button. This is our Export Now button. Click on this button. The next step is to edit the record. So we click on the include images, document and attachment checkbox. And after that, we scroll to the bottom of the page, and here we can see there is a exported data section. And in this section, we can see loads of data are present. If we want to export all the records of object, then select the include all data. Select what type of the information we'd like to include in the export. The data type listed below use the Apex API names. If you are not familiar with these names, select include all data for your export. So here we are uncheck this include all data checkbox, and we want to select it the object that is lead, opportunity history, opportunity, and then we select the contact, campaign, and these data we want to export, so we click on the start export button. Now we can see our export is in the progress, and the process is done in the background. What I mean is the record in the object will get the exported data in the CSV format. So those records need to be mapped or need to be created to a CSV sheet, and the Salesforce server is doing that for us. So until unless it's done, we do not need to download this CSV file. from here. So that the reason it say it might take some time and something like that. And 48-hour basically the timeline which we can download it. So like if I initiate the export right now, I can download this CSV file till next 48 hours. And our export are in queue now. So we will receive our export are in queued and the Salesforce server are created the file for me. Once the process which will be in queue or in progress will be done, the zip file will be available over here and I can download this file and use it for what purpose I want to export. Once our file is exported, an email notification will be sent to the email. You can see our file is exported and the email notification is also sent to us. The export your organization data has been completed. Please check the following link within the next 48 hours to receive the export. For download the zip file, follow the following link in the email or click on the data export. We can also download the file from here by simply clicking on the download button. And our downloading file is available on the desktop and the unzip the file, the attachment of the files and the documents are in the respected folder like this. Note the data export service does not work in the sandboxes. If we want to schedule the export, then we click on the schedule export button. So click on the schedule export. Our schedule data export page is open and under this page, we can select the export file type. So click on this and select the export file encoding type and then scroll to the bottom. Here we want to select the frequency and firstly click on the on day and then select the on day last of every month and then select the start time which is the 31st December 2023 to 31st January 2024 and the preferred time is to the 8 a.m. and then scroll to the bottom. Here we can see there is a exported data. Select what type of the information we would like to include in the export. The data type listed below use the Apex API names. If we are not familiar with these names, select include all the data for your export. And here we are including all the data. So we click on the include all the data checkbox and then click on the save button. And here we go. We can see our next schedule export is shown here and we can also see the exported file are also available here. We can export files are also available here and this file will be available for 48 hours after which time they are deleted. So with this we have come to the end of the video session. We will see you in the next one.